Should you use intermittent fasting if you have osteoporosis? This is a question that I get asked really regularly as a nutritional health coach. And today, we're going to look at what the scientific research has to say about intermittent fasting and bone health. Hello, my friends. I'm Sarah, and I'm a nutritional health coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I'm also a 500-hour trained yoga teacher with additional training that's specific to osteoporosis and yoga. I'm also a BoneFit certified fitness instructor. So let's have a look at intermittent fasting, what it is and its potential benefits, and how it affects bone health. Intermittent fasting is a way to go about eating that switches between fasting and eating on a regular schedule. Research shows that intermittent fasting is an effective way to manage weight and to reduce the risk of some diseases, as well as help with anti-aging. There's not one single way to go about intermittent fasting. Some people choose to fast a couple of days a week by only eating one meal in that day that they're choosing to fast. This provides a significant calorie deficit, which can be helpful for losing weight. Other people choose to fast daily by only eating within designated hours. Some people limit their eating to a period of 8 hours, while other people limit their eating to a period of 10 hours throughout the day. This leaves a fasting period each day for the majority of a 24-hour period. There are some health benefits that come with intermittent fasting that include lower blood pressure, reduced risk of developing heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and also it can help you to lower inflammation in the body in general. Plus, there's the obvious benefit of losing weight. In order to lose weight, there has to be a calorie deficit somewhere, and limiting the time that a person eats is one way to create a calorie deficit. There are some important things to keep in mind regarding intermittent fasting and bone health, though. Take the example of a person who fasts twice a week, only eating one meal on those days. This person likely only gets around 600 calories on that particular day that they're choosing to fast. In order to not lose bone, a person has to consume a minimum of 1,200 calories per day. I'm not suggesting that a 1,200 calorie a day diet will give a person what they actually need to be healthy. Just that from a scientifically studied perspective, this is the bare minimum threshold to not lose bone, assuming that a person is getting all the basic nutrients that are needed on that 1,200 calories. This raises alarm bells for me with this type of fasting for a person who has bone loss, either in the osteopenia or osteoporosis range. I would discourage a person with bone loss from doing this type of fast regularly every week. Another important thing to consider when doing intermittent fasting is what kind of weight is a person losing. Is it fat? Is it muscle? Is it a combination of both fat and muscle? In order to have strong, healthy bones, we need to have strong muscles, and we don't want to do things that will contribute to muscle loss. This is another reason to be very careful about dropping below a certain calorie threshold. If a person drops below 1,200 calories per day, it doesn't matter how much exercise that person does. It won't help that person to build bone. It's essential to get sufficient nutrients into our bodies every day for better bone health. In 2021, there was a research study performed that looked at what happened to the bones of people who used intermittent fasting. They found that people who use intermittent fasting had an increase in their bone marrow fat. Deep inside our bone marrow, there are stem cells, and these cells differentiate into either fat cells inside our bone marrow or into osteoblasts, which are our bone building cells. The fat inside our bones will not appear on our bodies as visible fat, but having these cells turn to fat inside our bones does not help us to have strong, healthy bones. It actually contributes to having less dense and weaker bones, and that's something that we don't want for our bones. The study also found that people who used intermittent fasting experienced an increase in bone resorption, which means that more bone got broken down. This was shown scientifically using a bone marker test called the CTX that measures bone breakdown. The study also found that intermittent fasting led to lower levels of ghrelin in our bodies. Ghrelin is a hormone that signals that we're hungry when our tummies are empty. Lower levels of ghrelin are associated with higher levels of fat in our bone marrow. This research leaves me concerned about intermittent fasting being used as a tool to manage weight in a person who has osteoporosis. I'm not completely against it, but I have real reservations about it, and it's something that I generally caution my health coaching clients against doing with bone loss. If you're interested in using intermittent fasting or have used it and find it a good way to control your weight, or if you've experienced the positive health benefits that can come with using intermittent fasting, then I encourage you to plan out what you're going to eat very carefully. Make sure that you're getting enough calories that are nutrient dense. Stay away from processed foods as much as possible and instead choose fresh whole foods. Make sure that you're getting enough of the necessary vitamins and minerals for bone health. Get as many of them as possible from food sources, but supplement where you need to ensure that your body is actually getting what it needs. Without the right nutritional building blocks, your body can't build the strong muscles that are needed to pull on your bones. If you're using intermittent fasting to lose weight and you have bone loss, then make sure that your nutritional basis is covered. And then make sure that you're doing regular, consistent weight-bearing exercise to maintain the muscles that you have currently and hopefully to increase what you have gradually over time. As we age, we tend to lose muscle more and more over time. And in general, when we lose muscle, we also lose bone right along with it. This doesn't have to be the case though. It's possible with consistent, regular weight-bearing exercise to maintain your muscle mass and even to increase it at every age. If you work to meet your nutritional needs and to engage in weight-bearing exercise, then you may be able to successfully use intermittent fasting. It will require careful planning. Know that there are other ways to lose weight. They're often slower, but they're healthier overall and will lead to a more satisfying situation for your bone health and ultimately your health overall. Make sure that you're giving your body what it needs, whether you choose to use intermittent fasting or not. And if you'd like to look at some of the research that's on this topic, there are some links in the description for this video. I encourage you to check them out for yourself. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone that you know and love. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.